In this video, we're going to learn how to divide decimals. Let's begin. So we have 3.25 divided by 0.5. Step 1 is to move any decimals in the divisor. So that's the outside number. So what we have is a decimal right here. We want to turn this into a whole number. We don't want to divide with an actual decimal. So to get rid of the decimal, we need to move it like right over here. So we're going to move it to the right one space. Now, if we move that to the right one space, it just kind of disappears. Now, step number 2 tells us to move the decimal that same number of times in the dividend, which is the inside number. So I moved it one space to the right over here, which means I'm going to move this one space to the right as well. So it goes from there to here. And finally, divide like normal, but don't forget to bring your decimal up for your quotient, which is the answer. So I'm going to bring my decimal answer right up over there in the end. Some people like to do it in the beginning. Some people like to do it as they're working through this. It's up to you how you want to do it. I do think using graph paper or grid paper is a good idea when you're working on this, because lining things up or lining numbers up cleanly is really important to getting the right answer. If you write really messy, it's really easy to get the wrong answer. Anyhow, what we have right here is basically 332.5 divided by 5 now. So 5, can you divide 5? Can that go into 3? No. But can 5 go into 32? Yes, it can. So 5 goes into 32 6 times. And 5 times 6 is 30. So I'm subtracting 30. So subtract that. That's 2. 3 minus 3 is nothing. And then we're going to bring down the 5. Now, how many times can 5 go into 25? It goes into it 5 times. So 5 times 5 is 25. And that gets us 0, which is kind of nifty. Now, we're not done yet because we need to bring the decimal straight up at the end. So from here, bring it straight up. So our answer is 6.5. Now, like I said before, some people like to put the decimal straight on top first. It's your personal preference, what you choose to do. What works best for you, do that. Let's try another example. 4.25 divided by 0.5. So again, I cannot divide with this decimal on the outside. So to get rid of it, I need to move it to the right one space. So moves over there, one space, which means I'm going to move this to the right one space as well. Over there, and then this disappears. So now I do division as normal. 5 divided by 4. That doesn't work. 5 divided by 42. Or sorry, 4 divided by 5 doesn't work. 42 divided by 5 does work. 5 goes into 42 8 times, so I'm going to write an 8 up there. 5 times 8 is 40. Subtract that. 42 minus 40 is just 2. And I have to divide some more, bring down that 5. 25 divided by 5. How many times 5 go into 25? 5 times. And 5 times 5 is 25. So we subtract and we end up with 0. And we're almost done. We just need to bring up our decimal. So our answer is 8.5. Try another one. 11.52 divided by 0.72. This one is a difficult one. So remember, first step is to get rid of the decimal on the outside. So I need to get rid of it, move it over here. And to do that, I need to move it 2 spaces. So guess how many spaces I have to move this? That's right, 2 spaces as well. Boom, boom. Put your new decimal right there, and that is going to go away. So now I have to do some pretty difficult division right here. So can 72 go into 1? No. Can 72 go into 11? No. Can 72 go into 115? Yes, it can. You might want to do some side work. How many times 72 times 1 is 72? You do that. You probably wouldn't have to write that down. 72 times 2 is 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 7 is 14, so 144. So 72 goes into 115 one time, because if you try to put it in twice, it'll be 144, which is too big. So we're going to put a 1. Doesn't go there, doesn't go there. It goes right over here because it goes into 115. So you're going to put it right over there. 72 times 1 is 72. And when you subtract that, 5 minus 2 is 3. 1 minus 7, well, you're going to have to borrow. So 11 minus 7 is 4. And bring down the 2 next. So now we have 432. Now, thankfully, our side work, we know what 72 times 2 is, so we can kind of estimate what the number should be. So how many times can 72 go into 432? Let's try 72 times 5. All right. So 5 times 72 is 360, if you figured that out. So 360, that's still, that's low. That might work. Let's try 72 times 6. 6 times 2 is 12, and 6 times 7 is 42, plus, add some stuff. Then you get 432. Wait a minute, that's perfect. So 72 times 6 is it. So 72 goes into 432 6 times. 72 times 6, as we've done our side work, is 432. So when you subtract 432 from 432, you end up with 0. There's nothing else to bring down. We're not done yet because we need to bring up our decimal, which is right over here. And so our answer is 16. If you put 16 point, that might be kind of weird. If you put 16.0, that's, can be simplified further to just regular 16. So 16 is our answer. All right, let's try another example. 15.12 divided by 0.84. So here we have 15.12 divided by 0.84. By the way, in and out, you always want to put the first number in and out. If you want to remember in and out, think of it that way, like the burger place in California. Anyhow, we can't divide with decimals, so let's get rid of it. We need to move the decimal 2 spaces over, which means we're going to move this one 2 spaces over. All right. Can 84 go into 1? No. Can 84 go into 15? No. Can 84 go into 151? Yes, it can. So let's do some side work. 84 times 1 is 84, of course. 84 times 2, well, 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 2, 2 times 8 is 16. So we end up with 168. So 2 would be too big, but 1, because we need it to be less than 151. So 2 won't work, but 1 will. So 84 times 1, because it goes into 151, so you're going to put it right there. So 84 times 1 is 84. And when you subtract 151 minus 84, you got to do some borrowing. You end up with 67. All right. Now we bring down the 2. 672. Now, how many times can 84 go into 672? Let's kind of estimate. I'm going to try 84 times 10. And 84, because 10 is kind of an easy number. 84 times 10 is just 84 with an extra 0 at the end. So 840. That's too big. Let's try 84 times, too big by kind of a lot. So let's try 84 times 8. So 8 times 4 is 32, and then 8 times 8 is 64. When you put that all together, you get 672, which is perfect. Look at that. So 84 times 8, which is 672. We're going to subtract that. That equals 0. And we bring the decimal up right there. Oh, that's just the number 18. So we've got some word problems now. Marco paid $39 for 8 tubes of oil paint. How much did each tube cost? Well, if he paid $39 for 8 tubes, you're going to assume each tube costs the same amount of money. So if you want to find out how much one tube costs, you just divide 39 divided by 8. So that's what we're doing. 39 divided by 8. So the decimal goes out right here. Really, you don't even need the decimal. So how many times could 8 go into 39? Well, it goes in almost 4 times. It goes in almost 4 times. 8 times 4 is 32. And 39 minus 32 is 7. So what you have to do at this point is bring down the, is we have a remainder, and we don't want that. So we're going to put a 0 here, and we're going to bring that down. And that's actually where our decimal is going to be kind of nifty, is because it indicates that we have some sense. So 8 times what equals 70? Well, 8 times 8 is 64. So 8 times 8 can subtract 64. 70 minus 64 is 6. We have to add another 0 because we've got a remainder. So bring down that 0. 8 times what equals 60? Well, 8 times 5 is 40. Then 8 times 6 is 48. Then 8 times 7 is 56. It's probably going to be 7. So 8 times 7 is 56. We're going to subtract. And we end up with 4. And then we have to add another 0. Bring that down. And then 8 times what equals 40? Oh, 8 times 5. So that's perfect. 8 times 5 is 40. We subtract, we end up with nothing. So Marco paid 4,000. No, not yet. We have to put up that decimal. So Marco paid $480.875. That doesn't make sense because you can't have half of a cent right here, or like when we're talking money, it normally ends after 2 decimal places. So the question is, do we round up or round down? We need to round it off at the nearest hundredths place. So let's look at the number next to the 7. To the right of it, it's a 5. And remember, when it's 5 or greater, you round up, which means this number goes up. So he paid around 488 is going to be our answer. Let's try another word problem. A school track is 9.76 meters wide. It is divided into 8 equal lanes. How wide is each lane? So if each lane is equal in their width, we need to divide. So 9.76 divided by 8 equals 8 equal lanes. 9.76 divided by 8. So how many times does 8 go into 9? It goes in once. 1 times 8 is 8, and you end up with 1. Bring down 7. How many times 8 go into 17? Well, it goes in twice. Close. And 8 times 2 is 16. And you subtract, and you end up with 1. And we bring down the 6. How many times 8 go into 16? Twice. And it goes in perfectly. 8 times 2 is 16, so you're going to subtract. You end up with 0. We're not done yet because we need to bring up the decimal. So the question is, how wide is each lane? Well, it is about 1.22 what? 1.22, well, we're dividing meters, so 1.22 meters wide. And that is it for dividing fractions. Go ahead and try some problems on your own. Good luck.